I have been on YouTube consistently posting for the last 57 days. And y'all, this is an accomplishment for me, a real accomplishment, because I have a really hard time with consistency, especially after I had burnt myself out in my last business. And so now I'm celebrating. I'm celebrating showing up consistently. I'm celebrating what's working. I'm celebrating being here and actually doing this thing that I promised myself I would do. And so in today's video, I am going to be talking about what has been working for me and what hasn't been working for me over the last 57 days of showing up here on YouTube. Okay, before I really get into it, I just want you hear that? That's my chair. I want to be sitting in this chair, so I'm not going to switch it out. Sorry if that noise bothers you. Let's start with what is working. I'm going to give you 5 things that are actually working really well for me in building this channel and 5 things that are not working that I am actively working to change. It has now become a priority for me to change the things that aren't working. So we'll start out with what is working. Hopefully this list of 10 things helps you in your YouTube journey. The number one thing that is really working for me is that I am prioritizing this project, meaning showing up on YouTube and building my personal brand right here, focusing on this specific platform. Right now, YouTube is a non-negotiable for me. I made myself the promise that when I started back up on September 3rd, 2024, that I wasn't going to half-ass it this time. I wasn't going to try YouTube and see if it works. I was going to put all of my energy and focus into doing a good job, building a channel that's actually useful for people, that helps people get into action, and that serves a real purpose. I made the commitment to really buckle down and do this for real this time, and I'm not willing to break the commitment. The second thing that's really working for me is I'm allowing myself to be creative, but still simple in my content creation. I have a new background here, so I'm trying to not confine myself to just being in my office. Last week, I posted a vlog style video. Being in a different location right now is partially because I turned on the camera and I liked what I saw. And this was for a Zoom meeting for a training that I was doing this evening. But also my mother-in-law is here and she's occupying my office space. So I'm not about to rearrange it every single time I want to film. So I'm letting myself get creative about the style of video that I'm doing. And I'm letting myself just be simple, right? Like I'm not trying to overcomplicate the process for myself. So I'm letting myself be both simple and creative in the process of content creation. I think it really helps with my ADHD. And maybe that's part of the reason why I'm still interested in this. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's working out. The third thing that I'm doing that's really, really working for me is at this point in my life, I am over 40. I am well aware of what my weaknesses are. And so knowing what my weaknesses are, I can prepare and get ahead of myself so I don't let those weaknesses take me down. A couple of examples or a few examples of these weaknesses are consistency. That is a major weakness of mine. I know that I have to work at building the habit of being consistent. And so I have a laser sharp focus on building that habit right now. Another example is that I tend to use the excuse I'm too busy, and I'm not letting myself have that excuse this time. I'm too busy is not going to cut it for me. I will find the time to film my videos, to edit them and post them, even if what I'm doing has to be pared down and even more simple than what I usually post, meaning doing a video that is a one take story time type of video. If that's what I have time to create, that's what I'm going to create. I do want to continue to focus on quality. I want to focus on delivering value, but the I'm too busy excuse is just not going to cut it for me now. So knowing that that's my weakness, it's like, I see you and I'm not going to let you take me down. Another weakness that I don't think is just my weakness, I think it might be a weakness for our generation, is we get caught up in perfectionism. And this shows up in so many different ways that I'm not going to dive too deep into it in this video, but y'all know what I mean by getting caught up in perfectionism. I have a feeling. All the perfectionists watching this video right now, hands up in the comments. Number 4 of the things that are working for me might be my favorite. It's how I'm being gentle with myself this time around. I have mentioned in previous videos that this is not my first rodeo at creating content, even though it is my first rodeo at really going all in with YouTube. I've created content on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook for various reasons throughout my different careers. And a lot of the time, I end up competing really hard with myself or competing really hard with people in my same industry. And this time, I'm not viewing this as a competition. I'm really not even focusing on like how good I can make a video or how perfect I can be about my consistency and about showing up. I'm being really gentle with myself in every step of the process. And I am actually really grateful to myself for taking this approach in this iteration of my YouTube channel. The last thing that is really working for me, and please hear this one. This is the one that I think is actually making the biggest difference when it comes to my consistency, having been ongoing for 57 days straight. That is like bonkers to me.
Many months later.
I can't believe that I'm actually here, right? 2 months of consistency is a big deal for me, especially because I haven't been able to do this over the past 2 years after that burnout spell that I had closing down my business. Number 5 is I only have one real goal that I'm focusing on, and that is posting 3 videos a week. So I am fully focused on the inputs here on this channel, meaning I am focused on getting out quality content to you 3 times a week. And I am trying my hardest to do so. Yes, there have been a couple of weeks where I've only been able to get out 2 videos. And number 4, where I said that I'm being gentle with myself, I am. I am not mad at myself for doing this. I'm not berating myself behind the scenes. I am allowing myself to just keep on moving forward. And I'm letting myself look at a new week and say, okay, this week, the focus again, the goal again is just to post 3 videos. And so if I win or if I fail that week, if I learn or if I fail that week, that'll just be something that I get to evaluate for myself on the weekend. But it has been working, right? Like my goal is not a follower count. It's not even like a monetary value. It's really like, can I build the muscle? Can I build the habit of just posting quality content that delivers value? Can I do that? Once I feel that that habit is second nature and is ingrained, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift that goal to something a little bit bigger. I don't know what it is yet because, to be honest with you, I don't feel that that habit has actually clicked yet. And so this is something that I'm continuing to work towards, and I'll probably make a video at some point when I do feel like the habit is clicked in and I have moved my goal to something else. Okay. So here's the real meat of this video. I'm vegetarian, so I don't know why I said that. So here's the real, I don't know, potatoes of the video. All right, let's talk about what's not working. Something that has been really, really evident to me in the last few days, maybe the last week or so, is that it's really starting to affect me that I don't have a set day or days and times where I am creating videos and where I'm editing videos. I'm really just flying off the seat of my pants. Is that how you say it? That's probably so wrong. Anyways, I am really just going by the vibe of the day. And you might already know, but I have a regular job where I'm working during the day. Some days I am literally working until 10 o'clock at night for this full time job that I have. And so a lot of the time, what will happen is I try to film the video either in the morning or I wait till the job is done and then I film at night. And then I'll start to edit really, really late. I have been editing at some points up until like 3, 4 in the morning. And I'm not really a night owl. I'm actually a morning person. That's a story for a different day. But it's really not working for me, not having a set day and time to film and edit my videos. The second thing that's really not working for me is that I kind of flew out of the gate like a bat out of hell when I started this iteration of my YouTube channel. Number two is that I did not create content pillars. I didn't really set myself up with what main topics I'm going to touch on through this channel. I just know that what I want to be focused on teaching you is how to build your personal brand through organic content creation on the various platforms. So far, I've only really been talking about YouTube, but I have a lot of knowledge on the other platforms, and I do plan on bringing those in. But first, I know that I have to take time. And this can't be on a day where I'm going to film a video. This has got to be like a planning day where I just sit and allow myself to think and build myself like strategic content pillars so that I'm not scrambling for ideas at the last minute. That is really not working for me. Some days it feels like it's working for me. This might just be because I am a creative person and I also think maybe my ADHD helps sometimes with that. I don't know. But yeah, not having content pillars can be really stressful when it comes to deciding what I want to make my video on for that day. The third thing that's really not working is that I kind of said it already, but having a full-time job and then not having set days and times to film or edit my videos sets me up to burn the candle at both ends a lot of the time. So the third thing that really isn't working for me is that that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm burning the candle at both ends and I can really feel it. There are days where I'm so exhausted that I really need like a 3-hour nap in the middle of the day, which makes it super hard because I still have to get my work done for my job. And then I still have to film and edit my YouTube video. So the nap might seem like a luxury, but it doesn't end up being a luxury because I end up trying to make up for that work that I missed during the day at night. And I really have a hard time staying up late. I really am somebody who automatically wakes up at 5:30 or 6 in the morning. I know there's so many of us who are trying to be morning people. And I'm like, I was like that kid at the sleepovers who would wake up at 6 a.m. and everybody else would be asleep. And I would have to pretend like I was still asleep. I would have to like try and sleep in. And this is the time, right? This is at the time before we had any phones or anything. So I was just like, often laying there in my sleeping bag, just like thinking for like 3 hours before the next little kid would wake up and I would have somebody to talk to. So, anyways, yeah, burning the candle at both ends really isn't working for me. The fourth thing that really isn't working for me, and if you've already started down your YouTube journey and you've been posting videos, do you do this? I'm wondering. I can get really obsessive about analytics. And I noticed that this was happening to me when I was building my TikTok, when I was building Instagram, when I was building on Facebook. Anytime I get into a phase of really building my content on any platform, my obsession with the analytics can get out of hand. And so I can feel myself becoming obsessive about checking YouTube Studio. And this is not something that I'm proud of. It's like it almost gets as bad as me just scrolling on TikTok, which I love TikTok. If you don't know that, we'll start talking about TikTok soon. But YouTube Studio is like watching the numbers change and watching the analytics go up or down, or why isn't this video doing so well? Or, oh my goodness, this video is really doing well. Being obsessed with opening that app on my phone, I think is starting to become unhealthy. And I think maybe I have to start taking a step back and maybe taking breaks, intentional breaks away from checking the analytics on YouTube Studio. It's just something that I know that I do, and I don't think it's helping me. And so I'm calling myself out here. But yeah, this is the fourth thing that really isn't working. Number 5 is that I know what burnout feels like. I keep on saying it in this video. I said it already, right? I burnt out in my last business, and I did it by moving at the speed of light and becoming obsessive and not getting enough sleep and making myself sick. And not only that, I was really going through something personal at the time, and it was really hard. I was going through a broken off engagement and a falling out with my immediate family. And except for my brother, I love my brother, and we're still in really great contact with each other, in case you're watching. Um, but it was just a really hard time personally. And even though I was going through that hard time personally, I was still continuing to push myself. And I pushed myself way too hard. And that burnout lasted a really long time. It lasted from 2022 until basically last month. And so I know I needed all that time to recuperate. And I'm grateful that I was able to give myself that time to recuperate. And it wasn't all just rest. It was really resetting my nervous system. It was a lot. It was a lot of work. And so something that I don't think is working for me is that I know what burnout feels like. And there are behaviors that I'm doing right now that could potentially lead to me burning out again. And so I am taking precaution now. And like I said in the beginning of this video, this is something that I want to be really careful about. I want to be really careful about not pushing myself so hard that I end up burning out again. I really don't want to let that happen to me. And so I've been toying with this idea. I may take the cadence of my posting down to 2 videos a week instead. Although I'm having a really hard time like settling on that. I don't know why. It might be the overachiever in me. All y'all millennials and Gen X's know exactly what I'm talking about. If this is something that has happened to you or that you can feel when it's starting to happen to you, but I'm going to say that I started feeling like it could potentially happen to me, and I don't want it to happen to me. All the little signals that my body is giving me that I could potentially be headed towards burnout, I want to listen more closely to those hints. And I want to make adjustments where it is necessary, because I'm having a lot of fun doing this. It's bringing me a lot of joy to actually be showing up, to be sharing my knowledge. It feels like I've been sitting on all of this information for the last 2 years. I actually had created a course in 2022 where I was teaching how to show up on video, and it was called Video Reboot. It's crazy, like looking back on it now. But essentially, this YouTube channel is everything that I had in that course and more, because I do plan on just making value loaded videos and giving away this information. And so I do not want to burn out. I'm actively working against it. These last 57 days that I have been showing up here consistently on YouTube have been incredible. I'm really, really proud of myself. And I hope that me sharing all of these parts, even the parts that feel really vulnerable to me, about what's been hard, what's been easy, what's been working, what hasn't been working. I hope that this helps you somehow to make the decision to start and just learn about yourself along the way, right? I think that it was Sean Cannell from Think Media who was saying that he had discovered through building content for YouTube that this is a personal growth journey. And I couldn't agree more because all of these lessons that I'm learning, I don't think I could have learned them from reading a book. I think I needed to have this experience of falsely believing that the non-planning strategy that I've been following up until now, thinking that that would work is kind of funny at this point because I can see how it is really not working. But the personal growth part is me deciding to make the adjustments that I need to make so that it starts working for me, so that my systems and my processes, they start working for me because I really deeply want to make this work, not only for me, but for you as well. So let me know in the comments down below what has been working for you and what hasn't been working for you. I am so curious to hear because, right, we kind of do this on our own. We create and we edit and we post and we meet each other virtually. And so I think it's really important to have a community to know that we are not alone, even though essentially we do the work alone. Let me know what your experience has been. I'm so interested to hear what this journey has looked like for you. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video.